called in
to Box and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the brews.
And they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Nick, it's been 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's on.
Probably not. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, I forgot some beer tonight, so I'm drinking Byron Center tap water.
Yes, you are.
What do you got?
Well, considering we're on episode number 2,
We might be doing 3.
we might be doing 3. I'm down to a salted caramel porter from Pigeon Hill
There you go.
because I drank my other 2 in the first episode because I was so shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, let's see.
What do you normally say at the beginning now?
Guys, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate all that you do, the feedback, everything. If you wouldn't mind, like, subscribe, share. That way you can tell your friends, your family, all about us.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the housing market and some of the things going in. Hey, we absolutely love that feedback. So one of our listeners on Twitch just joined about 10 minutes ago, and we seem hella fun to chill with. And I would agree. I think we are hella fun to chill with. And the more drinks we get, the more fun we are, unless you're married to us, and then we're not quite as much fun. Or our kids, honestly.
So tonight's topic, near and dear to my heart. I mean, it's what I live.
Real estate.
Yeah. And
So I've seen a couple TikToks.
Yep.
And I've seen a couple articles. So one article that I saw that I wanted to bring up to you, and I sent it to you, was that foreclosure activity is up 185% from 2 years ago.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that? I just want your initial reaction to that.
my initial reaction is pretty much just like when you sent it to me, I was like, wow, no shit.
Right.
Right. Because the COVID relief money had
Mhm.
been there forever. Like all of this stuff had been, and if you go back and listen to our old episodes, I said, look, all this money's still here. It's still kind of going through. It will eventually lead to something.
Mhm.
I had said September, right? And I'm still sticking to it, but like it's up now, sure. But because I can't tell you when money's gonna, like when banks are finally gonna
Right.
say yes. And but right, I mean, you're seeing so much of it, right? We've talked about how I have a job where I go take photos of pre-foreclosures.
Yeah.
I have 37 to do tomorrow, okay, in my little area.
Mhm.
Okay. Doesn't mean they're getting foreclosed, just means they're in foreclosure, pre-foreclosure times, right?
If they don't start getting payments.
Yeah.
So one of the TikToks I saw, and I'm sure I shared this with you, was this guy kind of expounding on his reasoning for why the housing market's going to crash.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, it was subprime mortgages in 2008, 2009, but now it's going to be Airbnb, which they're still handing out subprime mortgages to people that can't fucking afford them. So let's not sleep on the subprime mortgage issue.
Well,
But
I wouldn't say people that can't afford them. I would say it's become very popular in this last little bit because interest rates are at 7%.
right.
So they're playing that factor again of
Yeah, but they were doing that when they were 2%.
right. Well,
And those teaser rates are going to go away, and those people cannot afford it at 7.
God, no. Well, and I don't think too many people. I mean, it probably happened, but still, like I would say it's happening a shit ton in the past year to now ish, right? And you're gonna see it. I mean, interest rates. If you have the opportunity to get into your dream house at 7%, or 6% versus 7%, you're gonna do the 6. You're gonna forget about the the fact that they have a potential to go up
Mhm.
because you're just wanting, well, we're gonna make more money. We're gonna do this type of a thing.
And that was the issue with the subprime mortgages. One of our questions, it's kind of sad because people buy up cheap houses, rebuild it for like 3 times its price and shell it again. So people with less income have less of a chance to buy houses. And I mean, that is a point.
I would love to talk on this.
I know you would because you do buy houses.
I do.
So go ahead.
Okay. Here's my perspective as a real estate investor. Cannot buy a house. I'm stuck in a rental house. So
Okay.
that to me is the easy escape answer, right? You could do exactly what I do. You can go meet a bunch of people. You could tell everybody, I'm looking for a house. Post it on Facebook right now. One of the best things you could do. hey, I'm looking for a house that I could afford. If your grandparents or parents are looking to get out of their house, I would love to have the first opportunity. So that way somebody who's flipping doesn't get it. I will buy it as is, right? And you have to be willing. Like when I bought my first house, it was a shithole. Like I don't know if you remember seeing it before we even did any renovations
No.
to it. Like, I just bought a house in 2023 for $60,000 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay, like people tell me all the time, "Oh, you can't find a 60,000." I'm like, I just did it, right? Like, and I don't do it all the time, but I mean, in the past 9 months, I have done, I don't care, let's say 14 transactions. None of them above like the 120 mark, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're out there. You just got to go. You got to be willing to.
They all needed work.
Right. They all need work. They all need. And, you could go learn about an FHA 203K loan, which we talked to Rob De La Torre on one of our episodes about that. Yes, you're not going to walk in and just have this immaculate place right away for a cheap price. I'm the first to admit that, but you're going to get what's called sweat equity.
Well, and not knowing if our listener here is in the United States. If you are in the United States, we have a great episode from Bucks and Brews of how to buy your first home. We recorded before we were actually Bucks and Brews. It was probably in the July 2020 range. And we actually did it with a couple of people that I knew.
Yeah.
And they took a lot of the advice that we had and they closed on their house in like
2 months.
Yeah, about 60, 75 days, somewhere
Yes.
in there. So, I mean, there are opportunities out there. He's from the Netherlands.
Sure.
So, and we don't know what Dutch laws are,
No.
but I mean, listen, rental market's crazy right now.
Yep.
But if you put in the work, you can definitely find a place. And if you're willing to put in the work to the building itself, you can definitely find a place on a bargain and fix it up into what you want.
Oh yeah. Well, and you'd kind of brought up this Airbnb thing. Okay. And I've said this. So I have a friend that is just generically, right? He owns around 50, just ballpark numbers, 50 Airbnbs. And he's pretty successful with it. And he's in Muskegon area, and he's like, man, it's so saturated, and because there now is officially like more Airbnbs than homeowners or whatever it is. And the idea is, and I say, man, because I know a bunch of other people, and they're like, oh, it doesn't do what it should, and blah, blah. And the idea is like, when you're in Airbnb, you need to like take from, hey, the Nick version of David's going to live in this house, to I'm giving you a fucking experience that's going to blow your mind, right? Like he has a Star Wars themed house. Okay.
Yeah. That's something I would be interested in.
Right. He has a fire truck or, a fire station. There's an old fire and they have all this fireman stuff. And it's everything. He themes things. He does big, elaborate things.
It has to be something that stands out nowadays.
Exactly. He's putting in $150,000 worth of like, I have a buddy that's he has one down in Florida. I mean, we actually had him on here on an episode. He spent $70,000 on paint because they themed it for like this jungle thing, right? Like it's just 3D lions coming or whatever. Like,
well, and one of the things that the guy on TikTok was talking about was the fact that, the market 5 years ago with Airbnb, there were a few in the area. Now it's so oversaturated that the people that have bought these places and turned them into short-term rentals are not going to be able to make their payments on those properties, which is going to lead to many more foreclosures, which could shoot us into another recession because of all of the loans that are just not going to get paid.
Well, and the people created appreciation. Okay. It was forced appreciation. So again, you have my buddy's house, right? Okay. So let's just rough numbers, buys it in $150,000 neighborhood, buys it for $100,000, puts 100 into it. So now he's 200 into this house, but the neighborhood should only be 150, but he has a fucking Darth Vader on the wall. Like, he has these types of things. Okay, well, the next person, and he's bringing in $4,000 a night, right? So he's getting really, or a month, whatever it would be. He's getting really good income. Well, that tells somebody else, oh man, I can go get this. Well, the person that comes in, they just buy the house next door, and then they throw some flowers out front and make it look pretty, but there's nothing extravagant about.
Yeah, nothing that
But-
sets it apart.
So then they're like, oh yeah. So the person's like, oh, this one's booked. Okay, cool. I can just rent this one. And it kind of keeps, and so many people keep thinking that they're going to get the same kind of money, but they're not doing the same. And so what's going to happen is people are not going to do this Airbnb thing. I mean, and you know, I follow along so much with this because I don't own any Airbnbs. Because I've always been afraid. I'm not afraid to admit that. But you know, I also see that there's 3 times the amount of potential of money, right? But my brain doesn't think how to give big, huge, elaborate places. You know, the way that when I walk into their places, I'm like, man, you guys, I don't even know how you did it. Like you killed it. It's great, right? Like, and so, you know, I guess I just want to go back to that person. I know you're in the Netherlands. You're in the Netherlands, right? But there's always something. And if you're telling me, hey, people are going in and flipping, that tells me that your law is there. You know, you have no flip law or anything like that. You could always go in and offer land contracts. Again, we go back to that episode that we had. Like I taught so many different ways of how to do this type of a thing. You know, if you have some type of money, go put it down and tell them you'll make payments for the rest of, you know, the time that they need. Somebody's always willing to get rid of a place. It's just a matter of, does the numbers actually work? And, you know, when new people come to me for real estate all the time, oh, how do I was like, how hungry are you? Well, I'm super hungry. Great. Why are you here right now? Well, I want to learn. Nope. You've already learned. I've already told you, go knock on every door. What you should be doing right now is leaving this area. Like, tell me that you leave. Go knock on every door that's around us and ask the person if they want to sell.
I get a text message the other morning at breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm Annie from some fucking place.
Yep.
And I'd like to offer you cash payment for your house.
Yep.
Which, of course, they sent it to my wife in my name.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of fun. I sent you the text. Because I'm annoyed by that. And you're going to get out of 100 people, 98 that are annoyed by that. So
honestly, you'll get 98 that don't do anything.
Okay.
You'll get
one that's annoyed.
2. So really the chances, I mean, 1% will actually contact you.
Right.
Okay. So
tell your Home Depot story.
99 will not do a damn thing. Okay. 1% will answer you. Okay. So one person will answer you. Now, out of that 1% of people, are they annoyed? Are they screwing with you? Are they pissed off? It's actually only like a 5%, like a really, really good person closes 5% of that 1%.
So tell your Home Depot story, because our friend from the Netherlands here has not heard that.
Yeah, sure. So when I tell you to tell everybody, so I'm buying cabinets for a property that I'm flipping.
Yeah.
Right. Cabinets, countertops, some floor stuff. And I overhear a guy who's at the same desk, you know, I'm at the pro desk or whatever. And he's like, yeah, this place, man, needs the windows. We're doing flooring. And I just kind of, and you can hear like a little stress or whatever. And he's like, this is stupid. So I look at him and I was like, hey, if you ever want to sell that place, man, give me a call. I'm interested in purchasing properties in any way. You know, time goes by, month and a half. All of a sudden I get a phone call. Hey, Nick, this is Dan. But you don't remember me. It's like, Dan, man, I'm so sorry. Like, was it a real estate thing, Dan? And he goes, well, yeah, we were at Home Depot together or whatever. And you said, if I wanted to sell this house, give you a call. And, here, I'm giving you a call. And he's like, I was like, great. When can I go into my whole thing. I ended up there. I was eating lunch. So it was 11:30. I said, look, I'll be there by 2:00. I was like, let me go home and feed my family real quick and I'll make my way. He goes, yeah, all right. And the wife and I will get in the car. We'll actually go just meet you up there. And so we'll go meet. And like, that's just how it is. But go tell everybody, no matter where you are, right? If you hear anybody that says, oh, you know, because in our area, right, you're going to run into a landlord. Run into me on the right day. I'll sell you anything. You know what to say? You know, it does, you know, it can be every single day. You might annoy a person, but like, if you never know. So what, you know, another suggestion is go stand outside the courts, right?
Yeah.
So go stand outside the courthouse or, you know, go to the courts, start watching it whenever there's an eviction. If that landlord loses the eviction case, Oh yeah, I'm fucking contacting that guy. Hey, are you because you know he's tired of the person, he's done whatever, he's screwed up. It doesn't matter, right? He didn't win. Now he's out even more money. He's gonna want to sell. Hey man, I'll take that off your hands. I'll deal with this. Like, fine, fuck, just give me what give me what I want for it. How much you want for it? Well, so again, like 1% of 1%, I'll actually get that deal.
Right.
But I've hit him when he's just so fed up, so tired, doesn't want to do this anymore. Yeah, right. I mean that's where you can be successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
The foreclosure thing. When foreclosures are up, right? Everybody goes, well, how do I find pre-foreclosures? I mean, there's different ways, right? Like you just gotta educate yourself. It's not something I'm perfect at, right? But like for us here in America, like Zillow will say, hey, pre-foreclosure. Okay, it'll tell you the address. Again, get in your fucking car, go knock on that door because you see pre-foreclosure, and well, Zillow's not right. Even if you don't get the deal, the fact is you're taking the steps to figure out how to do it. Go knock on the door. Hey, and just be however you want to be, but be blunt. Hey, look, I seen that there was a pre-foreclosure thing on Zillow, and I'm just wondering if I can try to help you out by doing this. Is what realtors do, right? I'll list your house for you. And realtors are the people that go hunt this stuff.
Of course.
So that way they can get that. But like you could do the exact same, and trust me, you're gonna get the door slammed in your face. You're gonna get told to go fuck yourself because I mean you just hit somebody in like their lowest part of life, right? They're about to lose their house, right? And they have no idea how to do this. So I again, how bad do you actually want to get a house, right? When people tell me, oh, I can't get it, well, that's because you got an agent. Say thanks, man. Sorry, they said they heard some great advice and someday they might get what they're searching for. But to me, and I can't tell you exactly, right? Again, I'm not from the Netherlands, I don't know how it is, but like you could go find here the big thing is buying 4 units and then renting out the other 3 and doing it. And I ask people, like, are you married? Are you not married? How comfortable are you with other people? I mean, I did it with Caitlin, right?
You did.
Like, hey, you want a place? Great. Figure out a roommate, right? Like, you don't want to be there. You have 2 choices at this moment. Like, you have no income. You need to either A, get an income, which means getting a roommate, or B, sell the damn place, right? Like, there's no 2 ways about it. Sometimes but and yes, I want a place, but I don't want to give up any of my privacy, or I just want and that's not fair. I'm a fan of saying the words like life's not fair, but it's like the ones that are willing to go around it and figure out how to get it done. That's what it becomes, right? Because I don't know. I've had tenants in my own personal house quite a bit, right? Like it's usually people like I did the wrong thing, friends and family,
Yeah.
but it worked out for the most part, right? I'm still really good friends with my buddy. My own buddy got upset with me because I told him he could live with me and then he was going to get married. And I was like, great, when you get married, get out. Well, we were thinking about, 2 months. You got married this date, right? Dude, I'll give you a little bit of time to, like a couple, like 2 weeks but your apartment should be signed. Like, so if you need till the first of the month, like I'm fine with that. But like you're married, get out of my house, right? Like that's how I
don't think I told you this story.
no.
So a few months ago, Dawn goes, yeah, Anna's roommate's getting married, and told her when she gets married, she's got to move.
Yep.
And she's getting married this year. Oh, she says, what do you want to do about that? What do you mean? What do I want to do about that? She goes, well, I don't want Anna homeless. I'm like, I don't want her homeless either, but I don't want her to live with me. And Dawn goes, well, would you be okay offering that for a limited time? I'm like, I mean, I guess it would depend on how limited it is. So I send Anna a message. Hey, you gonna be okay when you get kicked out? And she goes, I have some options. I'm like, cool.
Cool.
If something happens, let me know. And I left it there.
Yeah.
Because I love Anna. She's my Star Wars daughter, but I don't necessarily want somebody moving to my house.
Right.
I'm just gonna be a blunt individual like I normally am. I like if I hop out of the shower, I don't have to put on underwear right away.
Yep.
I can just walk around because I don't have any kids in my house. Yep. It's me and my wife. and she's seen it before and she doesn't care.
Right. And say, well, and you're not in the part of making money and doing, you're not in this building aspect of things.
Right.
Like you have what you're fine with. Now, if you were sitting here telling me I'm $30,000 in credit card debt, I'm behind on my car payment, I'm doing whatever.
Yeah, I better
and,
be looking at ways to bring in more money, and I got rooms.
right. And you have 2 spaces available. And I'm gonna sit here and tell you, hey, buddy, you might want to reconsider that. Like,
Yeah.
it's somebody
Yep.
you trust them. Yeah, okay. Like, you don't want it forever, but great. How long is it gonna take you to get out of debt?
Yep.
Make that person sign that, for this amount of time until you're out of debt, and then go from there.
Right.
But like, I think it's a great way to produce an income thing, right?
Oh, it absolutely is. Caitlin had a roommate for a while.
Yep.
And when
anymore,
when her roommate had to move back home.
just like bailed or something too, didn't she?
Well, she was going to stay until Caitlin found somebody, and then her parents are like, we're not going to keep paying for this because, I mean, she wasn't working enough to pay for it. So it just turned into, hey, is it okay if I move out? And I asked Caitlin, she goes, it'll be tight, but I can make it.
Yeah.
She goes, and right now, I don't want a roommate.
Sure.
If I want to walk around naked in my apartment or condo,
Yeah.
I'm going to walk around naked in my condo.
Well,
Cool.
And I mean, I don't know. I'd love to have her on to figure out how much money she made, or like to have that whole talk of, hey,
Mhm.
did you save up enough for in case another surgery has to happen? Did we save up enough to make sure that we don't have to get into this point again, right? Because if not, then guess what? Yeah, you don't want a roommate right now, but like, hey, let's have a roommate for 1 more year.
Mhm.
Save up all that money, every dime of it, because it's tight right now, which means you're making some.
Mhm.
But let's do it for 1 year, and you'll change your life.
Yeah.
Right, because all that could just get invested into a CD or something, because it'll change your
Mhm.
life. Just that little bit of time, right? I cultural, right? You look at like a lot of Asian communities or Hispanic communities, but like, a lot of Asian, they buy big houses, right? And then 3 families live in these houses, and then they all pool all of their money to pay off the house. And then, 2 get kicked out, and they bring another third in, and then 2 get kicked out and bring,
Yep.
and that's how they do it. They just buy these, but it's 6 incomes paying off one thing very, very quickly. And that's how they're getting the car, right? Because all of a sudden the house is paid off. They're used to making this big giant payment, and they have these types of things. And that's just a cultural thing for them, their families, their grandparents or whatever it would be, they live with them, not in retirement homes and things like that. So
Well, where they come from, it's much more common
very common.
to have communal living like that.
Yep.
And everybody here is like, well, you have to have your own place.
On space.
Dawn and I were talking the other day, and I brought up the millennials. Well, a lot of millennials just live at home because they can't afford to fucking move out. And that's unfortunately what it is. And that millennials has become a catch-all term for young people.
Yeah.
Millennials are not young people. They're 32 to 42 right now.
Yeah, 30 something, 40 something. Yeah.
I guess they're not, because Caitlin's technically the last year of the millennials. So they're 28 to 42.
Is it 40? Yeah, I say 40.
So a 42-year-old is not a kid living at home. And honestly, neither is a 28-year-old.
Right.
They're adults.
Yeah.
I have this argument with the kids I coach all the time, because they hit 18 and they're like, I'm an adult now. No, you're not. Shut the fuck up. None of you people are fucking adults. When you're 25, come talk to me. Because I remember being that age, and I thought I was, a hot shit adult. I wasn't.
Yep. Well, I mean, and my problem was I bought my first house 20 years old or whatever, right? So like, I became an adult very, very quickly. But like, I grew up very different than a lot of people,
You did.
right? And that's I was paying bills I shouldn't have been paying as a child, right? I've had a job since 14 years old, so I still wasn't an adult. I did adult things, but I'm still maturing, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it hit me the other day. I was like, man, I would have done things so differently, but and so when we talk about foreclosures and how they're doing, I can't blame the rates. I mean, that's something because you've lived it and you've seen it, but this time I don't see that as the big factor.
I don't think it'll be a big factor like it was in 08. I think it's the fact that you have overextended again.
So, and
that was the 08 issue too, though, because you would have people that would own a couple of houses
Mhm.
and they'd have them on those teaser 1% rates, and then all of a sudden the rates would jump
Yep.
And they're like, I can't afford this. You're seeing it right now with people that buy pre-builds.
Yep.
So their taxes are like $400 for a year.
Yeah.
And then they get hit with a $2,500 tax bill for one season, like the summer taxes,
Yeah.
and the winter taxes are going to be, half of that. And they're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Well, you should have looked at what that would actually run on a comparable house in your area, not what it was last year.
Yep.
And people don't take those things into effect. They don't take into effect instead of having 5 Airbnbs in this area, we have 35 Airbnbs and 25 Verbos and,
Yep.
3 new hotels. And do we have enough tourism to sustain my payment monthly for 12 months out of the year?
And, that's where it gets tough. I do think, and one other thing I will tell you. So instead of arms, what I'm seeing right now is HELOCs.
Oh, lots.
Okay. Everyone took a HELOC. I mean, everyone has one, had one, is using one. Like, I have a buddy that's making a crap ton of money and complaining because, he actually bought a house with his HELOC, and he's like, I got to figure out how to pay that off. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, well, we flipped the house, we did what we were supposed to, and then we went on vacation, I did this, and I was like, holy shit balls, dude. Like, now you have to go repeat this process, man, and hope to get lucky. Like,
right.
I'm sorry, but you made the wrong choice. Like, so, and I'm like, and you did it on first position, right? Or, or on your primary house. Like, you can't be doing that. Sorry, a HELOC is a home equity line of credit. It's a second mortgage. So quick numbers. If you have a house that you bought for 200,000, but then the market's gone up and it's worth 300,000, well, the bank will give you another loan for, let's say 270,000, so 90% of the home's value. So you'll owe 200 on the first position, and then you'll have $70,000 in a second position that you'll actually just be able to go spend money on it. And that's, again, here in America, I guess we're allowed HELOCs. I'm not sure about the Netherlands. So you're right, only because your house has become more valuable. So they're like, yeah, sure, we'll take that risk. Well, I mean, if values start turning down, and other thing that people don't realize, okay, so HELOCs, knock on wood, don't get called, right? Very often, but it's written as a HELOC can get called. And when I say called, it means the same thing we seen in 2008, right? Hey, I'm no longer comfortable funding this amount of money.
You need to pay.
I need the money, and then you have 45 days to do it, right? Come up with all of this money. We're cutting your line of credit. And if that happens, there's so many people that are screwed, right? When I did my HELOC, I had enough cash in my bank account to where, but like, it was such cheap for me to borrow, right? Because I mean, here I borrow when I buy a house, let's say 12%. Well, if I can borrow at myself from 3%, yeah, I'm going to use my HELOC, but I had the cash just in case something happened and I got called, and I can just go pay that, right?
When we're in rougher financial times, the ability or the likelihood of that loan being called is much greater than if we're in easier economic times when money's just flowing freely.
Yep. And my family is kind of dealing with some stuff right now. So they work for a trucking company.
Yes, I've seen this.
Yeah, that is dealing with a lot of problems. Well, so there's union and non-union. So literally Monday they were striking. Sunday night at like 6 p.m. they were like, hey, we'll come to an agreement. They're going to work. Well, on the back end, all of these banks were like, hey, if you guys can come to an agreement, we'll fund you. Well, all of the banks, all of them backed out officially, like today type thing. So now all the banks said, yeah, you guys get your shit together. We'll help you. Well, they got their shit together last minute, and all of them said, nope, F you. And so now it's not looking promising again. So there's no funding. So,
and this is a huge company.
Yes.
That the nation relies on to get shit from one place to another.
Yep. And, we were talking, and he's, one of them was like, oh, the only people that would buy it would be Warren Buffett. He doesn't want it. And then Jeff Bezos, maybe for hubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but we're a union for our drivers.
No chance.
He wouldn't fucking touch it if he had to.
No,
Right.
because Amazon's very anti-union.
Yep. And, so banks, right, in businesses, and that's what you'll hear of, like 5-year terms, right? So a subprime, right?
Yeah.
Every 5 years, a balloon happens, and you just go to, the rate becomes new, and it's the new rate.
It could be less.
It could be, right?
But it could be more.
Yep. You pay the lower of the rates. No, that's not how this works. It's not any of this works. I unfriend you. But banks call loans on commercial all the time, right? I mean, we watched it happen quite a bit in 2008 to 2010. Here just in Grand Rapids, I mean, we had the Klingman's furniture, like big, huge building.
Rogers department store.
Right. Big, huge building, right? They said, hey, we don't feel comfortable having money lent out anymore.
Yep.
Go ahead and pay us our money and pay it now. And you had 45 days to come up with it. Otherwise you were done.
And a whole lot of places went out of business.
Yep. And so, that's, I look at it and say, hey, we're not in a place where banks are calling loans necessarily. I mean, it's funny because I want to say lending's tightening up, but it's really not. It's still kind of easy to get money.
You're just not getting it at the rate you want to get it at.
Correct, right? And I'm also, right, another reason for foreclosures is what kind of happened in my eyes, right, was, let's specifically point out Gentex, right? I think we talked about this. Gentex was 5,000 employees, right? Let's say 4,500. I don't remember. Well, when I got fired, right, I was one of 1,000 employees. 20% of them got cut. Okay, I got fired because I didn't volunteer. But do you know, like, of the other 99% of people that got fired, it was upper management, middle management, right? And it was not production workers, right? It wasn't the low end people. It's the same, how my mom made it through Steelcase for all those years, right? She never took a promotion. She just always stayed a worker, right? And if she would have been let go, during all the layoffs and all the buyouts and all of this. But so Gentex wasn't the only company to do this for COVID stuff, right? Yes, people found different jobs, but if you were making 100,000, now you're making 80, right?
Right.
Now you're making 60, you're having to go fight all these people. And we're seeing that all catch up, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that's the biggest key that we're seeing is, hey, I could make my payment, but now things, it goes back to the Caitlin. Yeah, things are tight, but
our new Netherlands friend is leaving us. He's got stuff to do. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Check us out, bucksandbrews.com. We have podcasts everywhere. So
yeah, follow us, man, if you wouldn't mind. Twitch. There's a notification button if you wouldn't mind. Just say,
yeah, absolutely. You're gonna have to talk here for a minute because I need to see if I can recover something on this computer. So
perfect. And so when I look at the economy and where I'm headed, right? So people are like, oh man, why are you selling things? Okay, well, one, I'd rather put myself in a financial position to be ready to purchase when some of these foreclosures are happening, right? I'm not giving addresses or anything, but I will tell you, of the 37 that I said I have to do, so 10% of that, 10% of that is going to be trailers in the trailer park.
Yep.
But I would tell you 80 to 85% of it is houses in the $350,000 range and above. Right?
Yeah.
Which tells you what happened with this middle management thing, like everything I'm telling you, hey, like this is what it's trickling down. This is what I'm seeing. And then the other ones, yeah, okay, you have the random one-offs, right? Like I have one down the road from my house that it's funny. It's not funny at all. But I took the photos and then all of a sudden I got an email of like, hey, new house going up for auction. And I was like, hey, those are my photos. So was like, damn, like now everybody knows about it. I wasn't fast enough to to go try to find this from the person. So, really the foreclosures is going to happen. COVID relief money is done. People's new incomes are kind of coming into place. Everybody says, oh, there's so many jobs out there. Sure, there's jobs, but it goes back to what David says all the time. It's jobs, but it's not jobs that pay what should be paying. Right?
Absolutely correct.
Here's, we talked about my family going through some stuff, right? It sucks because if you're not building yourself in a financial spot to make good decisions, you go make stressful decisions is what I'll say, right? So he makes decent money is what I'm going to say. And he's like, hey,
decent.
Hey, I'm looking for, if you hear anything, I prefer this, but I'll take a job making less. And I was like, what? Like, dude, you've committed like this whole time, like, because he's in that situation where they're going to lose money, right? Like they just need to be able to work to get ahead. And then once they're content, then they'll go find something. So, I look at this and say, hey, start bettering yourself, make sure that if you're in a position that your job is secure, right? Nothing's ever as secure as you want it to be, but it's got potential to be there. Just go find more money. Don't settle for things, right? Now's not the time, because I'm finding that companies are starting to push back on this, right? Because they're only offering the lower end jobs, right? They're not offering this middle manager. They're trying to get away as cheap as possible, but they're telling you, oh, we're paying more money. No, you're paying the lower end more money. You're not, you've cut out half of the support staff along the way, right? So yes, the lower end, you're paying more. They're working double. You've paid $2 more, which is, what, 12%,
Right.
12% more, but you're expecting them to work more. And, one manager used to have 3 people under them, now has 6 people under them. That person has, 25 under them, and then they're watching over 100, right? Where it used to be half, 50, 10, 3, and that's it. So, I think it's going to come, and it's going to come big, but the good news is there's still people buying houses, right? So my advice to people that are that have a potential to be in foreclosure, don't be afraid about it, right? If you can do anything to get out of it or to fight it, right, however you want to say it, help yourself, then go help yourself, right? Get yourself out of that foreclosure. But if you know that, hey, it's not, and you're not going to be able to, well, you're afraid that there's not another house that you can go buy, don't be afraid of that, right? Go sell your house, make the money while you can, and then yes, like live a little below your means for a little bit, find the next little spot, but go put offers on these lower end houses, right? Like your life's going to change a little bit, but get yourself into a more comfortable position, right? Because houses are still selling. And if you're David, you just tell people that you don't want to sell your house while they're texting you.
I told them $500,000 and some favors.
And some favors. So, I think. You think we hit good enough on this?
I think we did. I think we can end that episode and get ready for our next episode.
Yeah. So guys, thanks so much for joining us. If you wouldn't mind, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We really appreciate it. I hope that my quick knowledge, and this is a subject I literally follow on a constant basis. So if you have any personal questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can find us on bucksandbrews.com. You can find us on Facebook, all those. So
yeah, as always, thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you guys again real soon. If you're on Twitch, we'll talk to you again in about a minute.
You've dialed in.
To Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
You can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use.
smarts of these
Cause
studs.
they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks.
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
Brews.
and brews.
Brews.
Bucks and Brews.